Hello, fictional. Welcome to the What If Essay. Today we are gonna see what if Issei and Natsu were brother. Part 1. If you end up liking this video, please consider subscribe, so without further ado, let's get into the video. I was in doubts and made a sigh, and Rias, who was about to leave the room unsteadily on her foot, appears within Issei's sight. But you, where are you going? Rias stops, and she mutters without turning around. Ice, will you protect me? Of course, I will protect Butchu. And Asia. Eh? Yes, I will also protect Asia. And Akeno-san. That is obvious. But what happened, suddenly asking me such a thing? I don't get it. I don't get what Butchu's intention are at all. Butchu asks with a lower tone. Hey Ice. Yes, Issei said. Do you, what am I? Who am I? Rias asked. To me Butchu is Butchu, and the moment I started that everyone got pissed. Aka, she scolds me mixed with the sound of her crying. Butchu rushes away from the spot and she left the clubroom. Rias Onasama. Asia goes after Butchu. Asia turns to me after she reaches the door. Her eyes are soaked with tears. Why is Asia crying? Issei thought. Ai-san. You are horrible. It's too much. Why can't you understand One-isama's feelings? Saying that, Asia goes after Butchu. Having Asia also say that to me, I just stood there dumbfounded. Wait a sec. What's the meaning of this? Why is Asia also mad at me? Issei thought. That wasn't right, Ice-kun. Kiba makes a sigh. Not right as in what? Issei said confused. That, precisely. Geez, you are so I can understand very well what the girls are going through. Kiba said. Exactly. It's natural for Rias and Asia-chan to get mad. Akeno-san also sounded mad. Even Akeno-san. Even I, who is dense at these sorts of things, thought you were a bit off, Ice. Even Zenobia looks at me with her eyes half closed. Issei thinks. Ddraig is getting pissed. He has had enough of hearing Rainer every so often and hearing Issei lose his mind and his insecurities. It wasn't the op-eyed dragon driving him mad, it was the voices inside of Issei that was causing him to go mad. Moo. Ice-kun, sure is a no-no. Poor Riasan. Even Irina was mad. You're the worst. Kaneko said. Ooh. I just received the coldest you are the worst quote from Kaneko-chan. Issei thought. I don't know what I did wrong. I just don't know. To begin with, maybe I should go after her. Issei thought as he tried to leave, but he was stopped by Akeno-san. The current Ice-kun will just hurt her more even if after her, so don't. Seriously? Is it that serious? But it's my fault, right? My fault, I really don't know. No, I actually have a maybe kind of guess, but inside me that possibility is very unlikely. Issei thought as he held his head. It's basically impossible, that's why I don't understand shit. Issei started to get confused even more thinking about it. Hey Gasper. Am I really bad here? I asked my junior. Gasper says it in apologetic manner while twitching his body. Yes, I think you are very bad. Issei felt down. Then Ravel asks while panicking. This is my mother and my fault, right? I'm sorry. Akeno-san places her hand on Ravel's shoulders. Ravel-chan doesn't have to worry about it. Ice-kun's the most at fault here because he never tried to think about the crucial thing between Rias and himself until now. Akeno cheers her up as they walked out of the room. They all left Issei inside of the occult research club room. Issei falls to the ground crying. Why won't they see it? Why can't they see my pain? Do they not love me? Am I just there for them to show off? Issei said. The red dragon gauntlet appeared by itself. Issei, I have an idea, but I can't tell you what I am about to do. Ddraig said. I will have to make your body a full dragon though, and I will seal your memories, Ddraig said, making Issei think about it. Alright Ddraig, I will trust you. Issei said before fainting and having Ddraig take over. First to record this message, send it to the leaders, and done. Issei said even though it was Ddraig saying it through his mouth. He sent a written message and a voice one to the leaders and left one hard copy for Rias. Boost. 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 Dragon Gate. Ddraig boosted up and made a gate only dragons used to go anywhere and everywhere, even to a new universe. Meanwhile everyone else had left the old schoolhouse. They felt the menacing aura Ddraig was giving off and had made them bend to its power, and the next second it was gone. That came from the old schoolhouse. Rias thought, Issei is still in there. She rushed in to find that there was only a note. She had the whole occult research club come immediately before she even opened it. So what is important, Rias? Irina asked. Rias Onasama, what is that letter in your hand? Asia asked, noticing the letter. Well, I felt an incredible power coming from this room, which I am sure you all felt too. When I was able to get in here, this was all that was left. A folded piece of paper with occult research club on it. Rias said, opening up the letter and reading it out loud. Dear Rias, Gremory and friends. This is Ddraig speaking or writing. You all are terrible friends. First you let him die and then you play with his heart. Today's attack on my partner shall not go unpunished. I am taking Issei to another universe to be safe from you all, and I am going to seal his memories so he will not have to be tortured by the voices again. We may return to settle things. We may not. Don't expect any forgiveness from me when we do get back. I want to say thank you to the 3 leaders for trying to help my partner. Goodbye, Issei and Ddraig. Rias said, making tears come to her eyes. Oh my goodness, I didn't expect this to happen. Well, Gremory family, what did you think would happen? Azazel said angrily, making all of them to look at him. Issei suffers from PTSD. Post-traumatic stress disorder. Do you know why he does? Do you know why Issei acts like a pervert, yet he has yet to do anything even with you sleeping on him all the time? Azazel asked, knowing they barely knew the real Issei. What do you mean? Kaneko asked. Azazel put his fingers on his nose about how little they knew his segregate son, and yet they claimed to love him. As a child, Issei was ignored by everyone, even his own parents. He would act up and get their attention, and still they refused to care about him and left him at home, and at school he was bullied. He eventually fell in love with a girl named Miriam. Azazel said. Everyone was starting to put the picture together. Then he turned to perverted actions to get her or anyone's attention. Boy, did he get it. He started getting noticed by everyone, including his parents. But no one still loved Issei. So we skip ahead to this year. A girl asked Issei out. He was so happy that he could have someone who loved him that he didn't see the signs of danger. Before the date ended, he told he loved her. She mocked him and then killing him. He was revived, but his heart was never fixed. Then it went downward from there as Issei found that he was just a toy, and then he found out he didn't have to die, but did because of your selfishness. The reason he couldn't tell any of you was his insecurities. I hope that you learn from your mistakes, and I hope you fix them when he gets back. Azazel said, heading off to the door. Wait. How do you know he will be back? Rias said, still with tears in her eyes. If I know Issei like I know him, he will be back. If it is in days, months, or years. He will come back. I trust him too. Azazel said, leaving. Okay everyone, we must get ourselves back in order. When Issei returns, we will heal him even if we wait years. We owe him our loyalty after all that he has done for us. As for school, we will tell them he is on a self-journey and maybe tell Mayama the truth, since Issei loved her before we even came into the picture. As for his parents, let's be honest with them and support them as they lost their son for now. Rias said. The others nodded and they all went home thinking about how they screwed up that day. The day they lost their best friend. With Issei. It was July 6, 774. Issei woke up. He realized he was 9 years old, wearing a school uniform that he didn't know about in a forest that didn't look familiar to him. Ddraig. Issei thought, thinking of the only person he could think of. Here, partner. Ddraig said. Where are we? Issei thought. Well, we are in a new universe so you can live your life again. Ddraig said. All of a sudden a boy with pink hair came out of the trees. Hey. Who are you? The boy asked. Go with him. Ddraig said. My name is Issei, I can't remember anything else. I don't know where to go or where am I. Issei said, starting to cry as he was not able to remember anything from his parents to anything else. He could only remember Ddraig and what he can do with him power-wise. Ugh, why are you crying? The pink-hair boy asked. I have nowhere to go. Issei said, sobbing. The boy looked at Issei. Why not come with me then? Igneel would likely take you in. The pink-haired boy said. Issei stopped crying. What is your name? Issei asked. My name is Natsu. Natsu Dragoneel. Nice to meet you. Natsu said, stretching out his arm to help Issei up. Issei took it and smiled. Same to you. So where is this Igneel? Issei asked. Up on the mountain. Natsu said, picking up Issei over his shoulder, scaring the poor boy and running up the mountain. Igneel. Natsu said when they got to the cave. What do you want, brat? A booming voice said, coming from the cave. I found someone who wants to join our family. He can't remember his family or anything, so I told him he could join us. Natsu said. A red dragon came out of the cave and met the two boys. Issei wasn't scared, which surprised Natsu since he has only seen Issei cry. Wow, you look just like Ddraig inside of me. Issei said, making the two look at him. Ddraig is a dragon who lives in me. He is the only thing I can remember. Boosted gear. Issei made the red gauntlet appear. Hello fellow dragon, Ddraig said. Hello Ddraig, I am Igneel, the Fire King Dragon. This is my disciple and adopted son Natsu. Igneel said, introducing himself and his son. I am Ddraig, the Red Heavenly Dragon, and this is Issei, who got my powers and soul due to a monster in our original universe. Ddraig said. So that is why nothing here seems familiar to me. Issei said. Fire King Igneel, can you take care of my partner for me? We have nowhere else to go, so can you take us in and take Issei as one of your own? Ddraig asked in a pleading tone. I will take him in. He will be Natsu's older brother and will learn my magic. Igneel said. Thank you. Issei, I will be asleep for a while. Getting us here took more out of me than I thought. Ddraig said, deactivating the boosted gear. Good night, Ddraig. So I take it I can stay here? Issei asked. Yes, now come here. Igneel said, cutting his finger. Drink my blood and we will start your training as a dragon slayer. Igneel said as Issei sucked the blood. Issei immediately passed out. His hair changed from his brown hair to a pink tone. Hey Igneel, why is he asleep? Natsu asked. His body needs to accept the flames of a dragon king. Normally Igneel stopped talking and looked at Issei wide-eyed at Issei getting up. Wow, that fire felt nice. Issei said, looking at Igneel. Is something wrong? He asked. It took Natsu a whole day to adapt to my flames. Igneel said. It might be because of Ddraig transforming me into a humanoid dragon. He told me about it when we were on our way here. Issei said. Let's start training. Natsu said, getting Issei to follow suit. Time skip. July 6, 777 at night time. Hey Igneel, do you have to go? Issei asked as Natsu was asleep. I need you to do me a favor. Natsu is a demon in this world. Demons are known in this world for being evil. There was one exception. That was END. When the time comes for him to accept his demon side, he will need you around. Igneel said. Then let me tell you something Ddraig told me. I am also a devil. In my world that meant I was supposed to be the bad guy. According to Ddraig, I was only fighting to protect the innocent. When Ddraig helped me accept it was who I was, I grew even stronger and my flames became more adapting to my will. Issei said, showing off his black devil wings to Igneel. That does explain that. When I leave I want you two to go find some way to enjoy life and make sure your brother gets a mate and understands what that means. He is my prince, so he will attract a lot of women and will have a harem of girls on his own. Igneel said. I will, Igneel. Good night, Dad. Issei said, going to sleep unknowingly, making Igneel cry. Why is it that the last time you see me you finally call me Dad? Igneel asked as he went into his spirit form and went into Natsu, meanwhile putting a white scaled scarf onto Natsu. The next morning Natsu woke up first. Igneel. Igneel. Natsu screamed, waking up Issei. Shut up. Issei said, getting Natsu to look at him. Igneel left. Natsu said to his brother. I know he told me that he will be gone for a while, so we should go live with other people. We can search for Igneel if we join with them. Issei said, tricking his brother into being around females. I'm getting fired up. Natsu said. Together they left the cave. The 10-year-old Natsu Dragoneel and 12-year-old Issei Dragoneel left to explore the forest. They smelled someone nearby and ran toward the person. When they got to the person they saw a short man with orange and blue striped hat with a white t-shirt and an orange hoodie. The man turned to the boys. Hello boys, I was told that there were some missing children in this area. Would you be those that are missing? He asked. No, our dad just left us and asked us to go join society to get stronger in our magic. Natsu said, thinking that Igneel would come back when he is stronger. Well, how about you two help me find the missing kids and I will be able to get you to a place where other wizards go. The man said. We are dragon slayers, so we have enhanced senses, so sure we will join you. I am Issei Dragoneel, second son of Igneel, the king of the fire dragons, even though I am older than my brother because I was adopted second. Issei said, stretching his hand out to the short man. My name is Makarov Dreyer, Fairy Tale's third master. Nice to meet you. He said, shaking Issei's hand and then stretching out one to Natsu. My name is Natsu Dragoneel. Issei's younger brother. Nice to meet you. Natsu said, getting Makarov's hand and shaking it. Together they found the missing children and spent the walk to Magnolia exchanging stories. Issei and Natsu told stories of Igneel, and Makarov told them about a few of the adventures he went on when he was younger. They then arrived at a wooden building. Makarov brought the two boys inside and went back to get their stamped. Hello, who are you? A red-haired girl in armor came up to them and asked them. Rias. Issei thought, but then realized he didn't know anyone by that name, yet the name felt familiar to him. I am Issei and this is my brother Natsu. Issei introduced himself and his brother. All of a sudden a boy with black hair who was only in his underwear attacked Natsu. Ice make devil slaying sword. The boy said, making a black sword of ice, and lounged at Natsu. Issei remembered what Igneel told him about Natsu being a devil. Issei got up and summoned up the boosted gear and blocked the sword with his gauntlet. You will not hurt my brother. Got that? Issei said, looking the boy in the eye before punching the boy, making him hit the wall. Why did you do that? The redhead asked him angrily. I did that to protect my brother. If someone attacked your sibling, would you not step in? Issei asked, making the redhead calm down. I understand, just try to keep the damage down. She said. Natsu went to the back room to go talk the master. So what is your name? Issei asked. My name is Urza Scarlet. Nice to meet you. She said, putting out her hand. Issei grabbed her hand and shook it. Natsu came back with Makarov. Why did you stop me from fighting him? Natsu asked, a little mad his brother stopped him from fighting. Yeah, and let you destroy this building. Haha, not on our first day. Igneel would be mad. Remember that time you set that forest on fire? Issei said, making Natsu go pale, making the whole guild laugh. So Gramps, can we get our marks now? I want to start up those quests to go on adventures. Natsu said, making Makarov laugh. Yes, now what color and where would you like them? Makarov asked. I want it red and on my left shoulder. Natsu said. I would like mine white on my neck. Issei said. Makarov got them stamped and showed them around the guild all the way from the second story to the guild request board and told them how to accept quests. Alright Issei, let's go on a mission. Natsu said to his brother. Alright, go pick a mission. Issei said, laughing at his brother's acting. Alright, here is one. Natsu said. Issei read it and looked at his brother and smacked him. Did you even read this? This mission says to defeat a whole dark guild. Issei said. Oh, how can you read it? Natsu asked, making Issei look at it. I don't know. Issei said. I don't remember having learned this language. Up to them came a girl with short white hair. She approached Natsu. Do you want me to teach you? Sure, why not? My name is Natsu, what is yours? Natsu asked. My name is Lisana, that boy over there with the parrot is my brother Elfman, and the girl talking to the pink-haired boy is my sister Marahin. Lisana said, pointing at the siblings. That pink-haired boy is my older brother Issei, I found him when we were younger and Igneel took him in with me. Natsu said. Igneel sounds like a great man. Lisana said. No Lisana. Igneel isn't a man. He is a dragon. Natsu said. But Issei talking to Marahin. Hello. Issei said, wearing his school uniform that grew as he got older thanks to Igneel's magic as he walked up to a girl in a goth outfit. Shove off, I don't want to hang with someone who socializes with Urza. Marahin said. Wow, she is a tough nut to crack. Issei thought. No, I am new and she wanted to find out why I took that nudist off my brother. Issei said, still mad at the one who attacked his brother. That is Gray. He uses ice make magic that he learned from his master. Marahin said exhaustedly. Apparently his master taught him to embrace the cold and that ended up giving him a stripping habit. Damn, that's weird. Issei said. I know, right? Marahin said as she turned to Issei. Wow, you are pretty. Issei said, making her blush a bit. Do you really mean that? Marahin said, thinking he is just joking. Well, besides the fact that you are the first girl who seems my age, the thing that attracts me to you is how you aren't afraid to be yourself. Issei said. Explain. Marahin asked, not knowing what he meant. Well, judging from what you are wearing and comparing it to what everyone else I have seen, you are wearing something that doesn't seem to fit in. Yet you enjoy what you wear. Issei said. Well, aren't you sweet? Marahin said. So would you want to do a mission sometime? Issei asked. Why? Marahin asked. Well, I would like to get to know my new guildmate and if something better were to happen we will work on that together. Issei said. That sounds good. Oh, look at our siblings getting along. Marahin said, pointing to Natsu and Lisana. I am glad Natsu made a friend. Through the stories Igneel told me Natsu was lonely. We lived in a cave with Igneel. The animals near our cave didn't really like us, but I don't blame them since Igneel was a dragon. Anyway, he was so lonely that he found a flower once came up with the imagination that the flower was alive. Issei said, noticing Gray getting up and going home. Well, I better get going on some missions. Me and Natsu don't have a place yet since this place is so far from our cave with Igneel. So good night, Mira. Issei said, going to the board to find a job. At this point Natsu and Lisana were done talking and Natsu went over to his brother to tell him the good news. Hey Issei, Lisana said she will teach me how to read. Natsu said. Issei patted his brother on the head. Good job. Me and Igneel were afraid you were never going to make a friend after Mr. Flowey died. Issei teased. That got Natsu mad. Anyways. I am going to do a few solo missions for a bit and then come back. So stay here and learn as much as you can, okay? He said. Issei grabbed a few easy jobs and showed them to Makarov as he approved them. What, you are going to leave me? Natsu asked. Yes, I trust Mira to help you out and you can learn to read here with your new friend. Hopefully when I return we can go on quests that you pick. How does that sound? Issei asked his brother using his devil manipulation to know what Natsu wants and how to get what he wants easy. I am all fired up now. Natsu said. Now go play with your friend. Issei said. Alright, see you later. Natsu said, heading back to Lisana. Issei walked back to Mira, who was walking out of the guild. Issei caught up with her as they left and went through town. Hey Mira, can you keep an eye on my brother for me and make sure that Gray doesn't attack Natsu with any of that devil magic. Natsu is weak to that type of magic. I can't tell you why yet, but I need you to keep my brother safe. Issei was pleading at this point. It seems like he made friends with my sister. So I will make sure he is okay. A friend of my sister is a friend of mine. Mira said. But I am going to fly off and do a job so we can buy a house. Issei said. The only reason I am able to leave my brother is because you are here. I trust you enough for you to watch over him. Can you do it for me? Leave it to me. When you get back I will even help you find a place. Mira said. Thanks. I'll be off now. Issei said, stretching his devil wings when they were out of their view of the other people. Come home safe. Mira said, waving him off. Will do, love. Issei said, flying off to the location of the other town to the jobs. Issei landed nearby the town of Oak Town. Apparently some monsters have been attacking from the forest nearby and they need a mage to help out. Well, Ddraig, let's find out about where the mayor's office is since he put out the request. Issei thought. I agree and I give you permission to use your draconic armor. Ddraig said. It has been a while since I used it. Issei thought. He ended up at a guild hall that was labeled Phantom Lord. Issei walked up to the barman and asked him for directions to the mayor office, and on his way out a boy approached him with black hair and iron piercings. Why do you smell like a dragon? The boy asked. Issei thinks of his response. Since he is technically a user of Ddraig's power, he was a dragon, or he could say that he lived in Igneel. Deciding that neither was a good option, he went with a why question since the boy also smelt like a dragon. Why would you want to know? Issei asked, making the boy look at him harder. The boy attacked Issei and Issei went on the defensive and managed to dodge until they got to the center of town, where they were getting a lot of attention from the people. So why do you want to know? Issei asked now that the boy stopped the attack. I want to find my dragon so I can beat him up for leaving me. The boy said, finally calming down. All I know is that Igneel had a dragon meeting to go to or something like that. Issei said, making the other boy tear up. I have a feeling you will see your dragon as he is most likely closer than you think. Whatever, I am going back to my guild hall, see you. He said, turning around. Wait, what is your name? Issei asked. You may call me Gagiel. The boy said. Then you may call me Issei. Issei said, smiling at the other dragon kin. Whatever. See you around. Gagiel said, heading back the Phantom Lord Guild Hall. Issei headed back to the mayor's office. When he got there, he was greeted by a secretary. She had long black hair that went down to her hips with violet eyes and was smiling. She wore a blue jacketed suit with a light blue skirt. She looked about 16. Hello, little boy. How may I help you? She asked Issei as he handed her the flyer. I heard that this job was available and I wanted to get the information for where I can find the monsters that I need to kill. Issei asked the woman. Well, the mayor isn't available, so I will give you the info you need. She said, getting the info out for the quest. Let's see. The mission says that there have been monsters attacking and the local guild is decreasing in numbers due to the attacks. Their strongest are already out on missions, that is why we asked another guild to help out. The reward is 600,000 jewels since we can't afford to lose any more mages. And that is it. The secretary said. Is that enough to make a new house? Issei asked. It is enough to buy the materials for a house, but not to have one built by someone else. She said. Then I will take it. Issei said to the secretary. She giggled at his enthusiasm. Alright, just make sure you stay safe now. She said. Thanks, and I will see you tomorrow with the body of the monster. Issei said, running out the door. Wow, what an energetic boy. He reminds me of him. She said, watching Issei run. As Issei walked out to the door, he walked around town and he found a lot of scorched bricks. So it must be some sort of fire monster. Issei thought, unless Natsu was around here. He thought, giggling at his younger brother's usual antics. He went to the forest to find out what sort of fire monster could be out there attacking the people. Out of the trees falls down a giant red monkey with red flames out of its head. Inferno from Pokemon. Oh shoot, this one is going to be a tough one. Balance break. Issei said, making the usual balance breaker armor form around him. Welsh Draconic Knight. The armor got thinner and Issei became faster. Issei quickly moved around the area to get the feeling of the land. The fire Vulcan just stayed where he was so he could observe Issei's movements. Boost came from the armor as Issei picked up even more speed. Ascalon, Issei said, blade, summoning the sword blade out of his boosted gear. Issei started to go onto the attack by moving swiftly. The Vulcan was not to be outdone, dodging all of Issei's swings. It was until 2 minutes of this with 4 more boosts was Issei able to finally slay the mighty monkey with his sword cutting of its head. Issei deactivated his armor and went to the body. He took the head and put it into a pouch and returned back to the town. He walked back into the mayor's office. Hello, have you given up yet? The secretary asked kindly. Well, I couldn't afford to wait since I am broke and I need to build a house for me and my brother to live in since our parents left us alone. Anyways, I killed it and brought its head for proof. Issei said, showing her the head. Oh my, well, since you got it done I can throw in a little bit more. She gave Issei 601,000 jewels. You take care of your little brother and remember to come back when you are older and show me how strong you are, okay? She said, making a cute face at the end. I will. But can I get your name? Issei asked. My name is Yuma Amano Hyoudou, but I also get called Rainer. I took on my ex's last name since I left his world. What is yours? Rainer asked. Issei felt she was familiar with her. My name is Issei. Well, I better return to my brother. Issei said. It is nice you meet you, Rainer. It was nice to meet you, Issei. Rainer said. He seems to remind me of him. If I dyed his hair brown and he would be just like him. She thought. Issei gave her the signature Dragoneel smile and went back to the forest. So Ddraig, how well did I fight? Issei thought to Ddraig. Well, your blood is now 10% human, 10% devil and 80% dragon because of the dragon slaying magic. The blood in your body made the pieces inside you easier to shift forms. We will practice shifting forms once you finish the house using the dragon clone technique that Igneel taught you, since you are more tactical than your brother, even though he is still stronger. Ddraig said. Great to hear that my brother is still stronger than me, but he was in Igneel's care for longer, so that might be why. Issei thought sadly. Well, partner, if you boost enough you could beat him. Ddraig said. But I haven't shown him even the balance breaker. Igneel said to use it only when I need it. Solo missions where I am out of town is the best place for it. Issei thought back. You are going to have to show him one day. Ddraig said. Alright, I will show him my breaker later. Right now I need to go to Magnolia to get the materials for the house after I go find someone with a floor plan. Issei thought as Ddraig agreed. It was a whole day that Issei was gone as the moon was halfway in the sky and Issei walked to the guild hall to find it closed. Issei walked as he followed his brother's scent to come to a house. Issei climbed into the nearby tree and fell asleep knowing who else was living there. The morning Mira woke up and got on her normal clothes and looked outside at the sun as it had sent a signal of happiness that she had a friend of her own. Someone who wasn't scared of her and already dislikes Urza as a plus. She looked at the tree and saw petals of pink flowers on her tree. Wait, our tree is green. Why does it have pink in it? Mira thought as she looked at it closer. It was Issei sleeping on the tree in front of her. She opened her window to yell at him. Issei, get in here now. Mira shouted and got Issei's attention. Issei jumped into the window and immediately collapsed on the ground. Issei. Mira shouted, picking Issei up and putting him on his head. She noticed that he had scratch marks on his neck and arms. Morning Mira, what's up? Issei asked weakly. Why are you so hurt? Mira asked. Well, on my mission I fought a Valken and he was tougher than I thought. I flew back here so I could find out what Natsu was doing and I smelt that he was here. Issei explained quietly. Mira put her hand on Issei's cheek. When Lysandra found out you guys didn't have a home to live in, she offered to let Natsu stay here while you went on your mission. All night those two stayed up learning how to read before they passed out. I put Lysandra in her room and Elfman put Natsu on the couch. Mira said. I knew I could trust you. Issei said before falling asleep. Mira looked at him with a smile on her face as she looked at Issei. I have only known Issei for only a day. Yet I feel like I have known him forever. She thought as she got off the bed. Well, I better go make breakfast. She thought as she went down to the kitchen and begun to start making food. As she went downstairs Natsu decided to wake up. Morning Mira. How are you? Natsu asked. I am fine. Your brother is in my room sleeping as it seems like his mission might have been enough for you two to make a house. Mira said with a smile. Will you guys still visit? Natsu asked. Yep, and we will make our own team, call it Team Dragstrass. Mira said cheerfully. Mirani, why are you so cheerful today? Lysandra said, wondering why her normally grumpy sister is so happy. I got a great night's sleep. I dreamed of finally beating Urza. Mira said, finishing making the first batch of pancakes. Elfman came down and Mira feed everyone. The two kids went back to their teaching area and Elfman went back to the guild to go do some jobs around the building. Mira went back to her room and went to sleep cuddling up to Issei. Issei is so warm. Mira thought as she fell asleep. Natsu and Lysandra got done learning how to read. Natsu apparently was a fast learner and with Lysandra around he was able to learn even faster. Lysandra went into Mira's room to let her know when he saw her sister sleeping with Natsu's brother. She rushed downstairs. Natsu, come with me. Lysandra said, grabbing Natsu, who didn't put up resistance. Natsu and Lysandra both were looking at their siblings sleeping with each other. Lysandra, I don't understand why you are making such a big deal. They just went to sleep next to each other. Natsu said. Did Igneel ever tell you anything about girls? Lysandra asked. Natsu just shook his head. Not with me. I only paid attention to the fighting aspects of his lessons. Natsu said proudly. Well, let us go and let them sleep. Natsu said and Lysandra followed him as they went to the guild. Later on Issei and Mira woke up at the same time. Well, I am happy you like cuddling, I think it is time to get going. Issei said, making Mira go red. You better not tell anyone about this, okay, Mira said angrily. Issei didn't register it as a threat and just smiled at her. I won't tell them. Issei said. But can you help me find an architect? I found a place in forest that would be a great place for a house. Okay, let's go. Mira said, grabbing him by the hand. In the town of Magnolia, Issei and Mirahin found the architect shop and Issei got the plans for a 6-bedroom, 2-bathroom, kitchen, living room and dining room. Issei got the materials put into a magical storage bag. They walked to the nearby hill that was where Issei was going to build the house. Alright, let's do this. Dragon clone. Issei said as several Isseis were formed behind him. With an army of 20, they got to work fast. From installing all of the electronics, the plumbing and building the structure, it was done within an hour. Once it was done, all of the clones came into one. That was impressive. Mira said, amazed at the building that wasn't there an hour ago. There is enough room for your family when you come over, we have a place for you to stay. Issei said, giving Mira a wink. The only bad part is we don't have enough food to fill the fridge. Issei said a bit sadly. Well, why don't we do on a mission together? Mira asked, making Issei smile. I was hoping you would ask. Sure. Let's go to the guild and pick up a quest. Issei said as they started to go back to the guild. It is 781. Marahan, Laxus, Urza and someone named Mystigan all earned S-class. Issei was offered, but he declined so that he could keep his brother in check. A few years ago, Issei and Natsu each found an egg. Natsu and Lysana made a hut to raise their egg, while Natsu and Mira took care of the black egg with a white mark on it. Once the eggs hatched, Natsu's hatched was blue cat with white wings. Natsu named him Happy. Issei's egg turned into a white cat with red wings, and when Issei saw it, the name Kaneko came to his lips. Issei had no clue why that name, and Ddraig cursed his luck on his seals on Issei's memory was starting to break. Then he considered the relationship Issei had with Mira made him not try to reseal it up, and if it comes back to Issei, then it was meant to be. Right now we join the Igneel brothers at the center of town with their cats. With the Struss family about to leave on an emergency S-class mission. What do you mean we can't come? Natsu asked. Because you have to be a real man to go this mission. Elfman said as Mira returned. Issei can't come? Mira said. Issei shook his head. Now I am going to keep an eye on this one to make sure he doesn't tag along. Issei said, pointing to Natsu. Natsu looked at him like he was offended. Alright, we will be off. Mira said. Hey Lysana, when you get back let's go on a mission. Natsu shouted as she was walking away. She turned around and smiled at him. Alright. She said, waving her hand goodbye. They left and Natsu turned to his brother. So what do we do now? Natsu asked. We take Happy and Kaneko home and we will go after them. I didn't want to trample on having Elfman trying to look like a man and all in front of his sisters. We will be there if something goes wrong since it is an emergency S-class mission. Issei said. But how will we get there in time? Natsu asked as they got home. Issei unfolded his dragon wings to show them to his brother. This is how we get there. Issei said. I like the way you think, brother. Natsu said. As they flew to their destination, they noticed there was smoke coming from the village. When they were nearby, they saw the beast beating up Mira and Lysana. That pissed off the two boys. Just as the beast was about to land a fatal blow. Fire dragon roar. The boys said as they fell down in front of the girls. The fire knocked the beast back and caused him to stumble back. Natsu, take Lysana out of here. Mira and I will take care of this monster. Go take care your mate, Natsu. Issei commanded. Natsu saw that there was no arguing with his brother and took Lysana in his arms in a bridal carry and took off. Issei stretched out a hand to Mira and helped her up. Hey Mira. Issei said as he and Mira had a staring contest into each other's eyes. A roar made them snap into reality. So where is Elfman? Issei asked, noticing the brother wasn't there. Mira pointed at the beast. He failed to take over the soul and it is possessing him. Mira said. Issei set Mira on a nearby chair and went to face off against Elfman. All while Mira was begging him to leave. It's about time I show off, hun. Issei said, looking over his shoulder to Mira, who had tears in her eyes. Boosted gear. Issei shouted, summoning the gauntlet. Mira looked at it because Issei never used it on a mission with her before. Ddraig, let's go into Rook form. Welsh Draconic Rook. Balance breaker Welsh Draconic Rook. The gauntlet said, first transforming into the normal balance breaker, then the armor got thicker and stronger. In this form Issei's strength and defense went sky high, not to including the boosts that happen every 20 seconds that were silent to keep Issei's power secret, forcing it to take longer to boost. The beast and Issei went back and forth with hitting each other at an even tie. But that immediately stopped when 20 seconds passed and the boost started to take effect. Issei's punches became stronger and his armor began to repair itself, which unfortunately for the beast he wasn't healing at all. After a minute it was over with Elfman knocked out. Issei deactivated the gear and waked over to Mira. He put her arm around her shoulder and cast a levitating spell on Elfman and went to the nearby train. I thought you were going to keep Natsu away. Mira asked with a smile on her face. I was bringing him for backup. I thought I would let you guys take care of it, but seems I am glad I came. Issei said while carrying Mira as they all got on the train. Issei put Elfman in the storage compartment and Issei sat next to Mira while Natsu slept in Lysana's legs. Lysana was smiling even though she all bruised up. She petted Natsu through his hair, causing him to purr in his sleep. Lysana, I am going to take a break from being an active mage. Master said he needed someone to take care of the bar with how much Kana drinks. That's what I am going to do. Mira asked. I will try to keep being a mage for a while. After all, I promised him and our son that we will go on a mission when we got back," said Lysana. "Well, if Mira is stepping down from being an S-class mage, then I will have to take her place," Issei said. The two girls looked at him. "Hey, what was that thing you did earlier with the red armor and stuff?" Mira asked. "Just don't tell Natsu about it. I haven't had to use that, and if he thinks I was going easy on him, he will never live it down," Issei said, getting the girls to smile. In the end of the week, Rainer moved into Magnolia as she was hired to be a barmaid alongside Mira. Over time, Rainer knew that Issei Dragoneel is Issei Hyoudou. She had a conversation with Ddraig to keep her quiet about Issei's past and the pain she caused. She vowed to Ddraig that she will help him when his time came out to have his memories restored. For the longest time things were good. That was until Mira and Issei had their first time. When they turned 17, they had a rendezvous, and on that night of Issei's birthday, even though they didn't know it. On that same night, Natsu and Lysana also had their way with each other. It was also mating season, so that helped. Both boys claimed their main mates as they were kings. They would need more than one mates. No one saw the group of four, and Elfman got himself a hotel room for the week. When they returned from their adventure, Lysana joined Rainer and Mirahin on the staff at the guild. Rainer talked to Mira and joined Issei's harem. As for Natsu, well, just say it was Issei's fault. One day at the guild, Issei and Natsu just returned from a quest and were eating at the guild. As usual, Kana was bothering Issei again. "Come on, Issei, let's go to my place for a good time," Kana said sultry. Issei did not want to deal with her as he was exhausted from it. "Natsu, come here and give Kana company," Issei said as Kana let go of him and went over to Natsu. Issei continued to eat. When he was done, he realized what he did to his brother. He silently prayed for his brother while feeling some pain. "Oh well, nothing fire whiskey can't fix," Issei thought as he poured some more alcohol. As the guild was closing down, Lysana approached Issei. "Hey Issei, where is your brother?" she asked with a fake smile. "Well, Kana was bothering me to add her to my harem, and I told her no. She wouldn't accept that, so she went to Natsu, and oh no," he said, realizing what Lysana would do to him. "Right now I really do have to share him," Lysana said, sinking onto her knees. Issei put his hand on his sister and Sex's head. "Hey, you knew it would be happen, but it isn't his fault, it's in his kingly magic. He marked you as his first right," Issei said, stopping as Lysana looked at him with her teary eyes, shaking her head. "Then he will never forget you, because that is why it is important who you mark as your first." "Thanks, Issei. I feel better now," Lysana said. Issei stayed until Rainer and Mira were ready to go home. "Come on girls, let's go," Issei said as he took both of his girls arm in arm as they walked home to have their nightly activities. The next day, Issei and his girls were the first to the guild, so they could open up even as sore as they were. Lysana came in later. Most of the guild came in after her. Most were waiting to see how Lysana will react to Natsu and Kana. Then Natsu came in with Kana on his arm. Lysana walked up to them. "Natsu, I wish you would have included me," she said in a whiny voice. Natsu just blinked at what she said. Hell, he thought he would be in trouble. "Hey brother, no more girls till you are 17, okay? I don't have the time right now to do renovations to make room for more of your harem, little brother," Issei said across the guild. "Yes, sir," Natsu said, scared a bit by his brother's bluntness. "And that means use safety too." "I'm too young to be an uncle," Issei said. "What is safety?" Natsu asked, getting everyone to look at him. Issei made a straight line to his brother. "Please tell me you used the spell Igneel taught us," he asked, hoping, but he already knew the answer. What spell?" Natsu asked. "Why did I not make sure you knew it? The only spells you care about are ones for fighting, right?" Issei said, realizing he was making a big scene in the guild, bigger than a guild fight. "So what if I only remember fighting spells?" Natsu asked as Issei face palmed as he went to Mira. "Hey Mira, I think your sister is pregnant with my stupid brother's child," he whispered, even though the whole guild heard him. They were in shock. "How?" Mira asked quite loudly. "You remember what I told you about mating season and that spell I put on myself? My idiot brother forgot that, and now boom, here we are," Issei explained. "And that is how Natsu learned spells not for battle are important too." End of the here. So that's it for today's video, guys. Before you go, just like the video and share it with your friends. Bye.